Welcome back. Today we're going to build some side tables. Right now we've got some cheap Rubbermaid deals going on the side, just temporary. But I got some leftover wood from some different projects, and figured let's put something together here. As you can see, I got some leftover 3/4 finished plywood, and I'm just cutting it down to size. Just going to put one shelf in there. I'm not going to get real fancy and do any drawers or anything like that. Going to keep it real simple. You can see I'm using just some pine again. I have some leftover pine, and so just gonna use all that, put it together. I've got one on either side of the table, and are actually two different sizes. My wife's side, she has a little bit larger, and mine's a little bit smaller. But here I'm sanding off the filler I used to fill in where the plugs were. It's a beautiful day out. Haven't got my driveway put in yet, but that's coming. So be looking for that in future episodes. This is a real basic deal, but so this is a stain that I've come up with that I really like. It's Minwax Slate Gray. I let it dry for a little bit, and then I come back with this color wash, and it's a Barnwood Brown color wash. And the combination of both of those gives it this, teal, kind of a Barnwood teal or weathered teal or something like that. And I really like it. It gives it some depth, and then it can go both cool and warm, which I tend to gravitate towards things here, but yeah. So it's a little bit of a process, not too bad. And then after that, I use a polyacrylic, which is a water-based product. I like it because I can put on several coats really quick. The stuff dries really fast. In between each coat, I take a sanding sponge, which is like a 220 grit, and I just knock down the tops off of those and come back and hit it again. Whenever you spray a product into a cavity like that, I swear it just wants more of it comes out than goes in. But I lay it on pretty good. The stuff just does a great job at it's forgiving, so I'm able to do quite a bit pretty quick. I usually blow this at like 40 psi. A little bit higher than that. It's an HVLP sprayer. I've been using that for years with all my finishes. I don't stain with it. I just do the finishes with it, and it just goes so much faster. Here I'm starting to work on the tops. I wanted something real durable. I bring drinks and whatever else to bed, and so I want something that I'm never gonna have to worry about water spots or beating up. So I had some leftover concrete countertop from a previous project, and so I'm just making some forms out of some melamine. So we're doing I believe I went 1 inch overhang or 1.5 inches on the sides and 1 inch over the front. And then a little bit on the back, because I swear when you put it up against the back wall, the back of your piece of furniture always touches the baseboard, and then it kicks it out a little bit. So my idea here is to have the top of the side table hitting the wall. I think it's just a cleaner look. So that's how I'm designing it. I'm just using, again, pine that I've ripped down. A lot of people said, oh, you got to use melamine, but I think it's going to be okay on this based upon just doing sidewalks and other things. And actually a previous project where I did a countertop in place, I just used this pine, and it was fine, mainly because that's what I have. You know, we're a ministry here, so I want to try to make the dollars stretch as far as possible. So if I can do this, that's helpful here for the organization. I'm wearing my Polk County Games, Polk County Senior Games. That's a shout out for the Brooks down in Winter Haven. They supply me with extra shirts. Polk Senior Games is not sponsor of this, but pretty neat thing that they have got going there. And I think as I get up in age, it might be something I do. I used silicone around the inside edge just to give it a contour so that it's not so sharp, the edge. I'm not too worried about concrete leaking out here, but it should be fine. Always careful when using them power tools. I know something will happen if you're just not being careful. I'm uber careful. I want to keep all my digits. I think I just used, believe it or not, drywall screws on this, if I remember right. I don't think they were even like construction screws. Pretty easy process. And man, it turned out really well. The concrete released from it really easily, so I was very pleased with that. Here I'm getting ready to mix it up. I just hit it with some mineral spirits to help make it to where it will break free. I did wax the melamine. They say to do that, so I put a little light layer of wax on that. Mixing it up with just a hand mixer is what I use for all my tile jobs and anything where I need to mix concrete or material. And I get it in. I start to spread it. Something's just not right. So back in it goes. I was going to just try to go with it, but it just was not good enough. So I can't remember if it was not enough water or something just not mixed enough. So in she went. But the stuff spread real good. I like to do it. Some people say do it real dry. Some people say do it real wet. I'm right in the middle. You know, I want it to spread a little bit and get into the grooves, but I don't want this stuff being too soupy either. So, but yeah, it worked out. Really didn't take too long. I'm just using a piece of, I think it's 2x that's ripped down that I had laying around to screed off the top. I went around with a hammer and I hit the sides just to get the product deeper into the corners and settle up against the sides and try to get rid of any air bubbles that are in there. And this concrete mix is that Quickcrete product. It's a little bit expensive. It's like $20 a bag, but I found it to be pretty good. Supposedly it's got all the additives that it needs in there to be strong and everything. So so far I've just used that. I haven't really played around with any other product other than this. Plan on doing a kitchen countertop with this later on. You'll see that come up. But here I'm releasing the sides. I'm actually doing it. I've let it sit for several hours now, and the concrete's warm and just a little malleable, very little, but just trying to cut off those edges. I wanted to do that before it set up too hard. Here you can kind of see that, and that's going to be the bottom. So you won't see that. I don't think I have any picture of it actually releasing from the top, but it came right off. So I was really happy with that. And the top was smooth. There really wasn't a whole lot of bubbles or anything in there, so it was good to go. Here I have a high-speed grinder with, I believe that's a sanding head, and I'm just knocking off anything that might be sticking out there. Not really trying to shape it or change it or anything like that. Just knocking it down a little bit. And it turned out really well. The biggest thing with this is having a good sealer. And I found a really good sealer that I purchased on Amazon. It's a 2-part epoxy that you mix and then you dilute it. and you dilute it in 3 different ratios, and there's like a primer, first coat, second coat, and it is fabulous. So here's the final product. Really happy with how it turned out. It's been real durable. Shouldn't have any problems with it. And you can see once you stain it, it doesn't really matter what type of wood you have. So, but thanks for watching, and see you next time.